Right, hello everybody, welcome back, Happy New Year. It's now 2025, but FRL is here as ever with me, Rufafa, otherwise known as Greg, and my good friend Retro Ghost Owen. How are you doing, buddy? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, buddy. We are back with round 1, season 16 of the Super Sprint Sunday 2025. Cannot wait to get into a very, very wet and soggy Misano.
Yeah, as you can see on screen, it's absolutely steroids down in Misano in Italy. And the drivers are setting competitive laps, all currently queuing behind that man, Mr. Vermeulen. It's only practice for now. Fuel will come out and fresh tyres will go on. So somebody might get a bit closer to him, but that is quite a gap he's pulled out already. We do have a bunch of new drivers that we're going to go through with you very, very shortly. But first of all, we're going to bring you up to date with the slight alteration in format. So instead of a qualifying, as we catch Maletti spinning it out of the final turn and into the pit wall. We are still on two sprints, one of 20 minutes, one of 40 minutes. But now this time we are going to have basically a single shootout qualifying for qualifying one, which is what the first bit of action you're going to see this evening. They're going to get 5 minutes, enough for an out lap and a flying lap and a lap in. The drivers are allowed, if they crash on their out lap, especially in these tricky conditions, to reset to the pits and go again, but once they have started their out lap, they must go about completing it or returning to pits not to go out again, and they'll be starting with no time. After race 1 has finished, the 20 minutes, we will go into a qualifying 2, where there is no restricted laps, just the 15-minute timer, and that will set the grid for race 2. So now there will be basically no influence anymore from race 1 dictating race 2. There are two alternate but differentiated races you'll be experiencing even. So if we whet your appetites in race 1, stick around for the qualifying and then straight into race 2, which is a sumptuous 40 minutes. There is no tyre restrictions, fuel restrictions. The drivers are allowed to go from lap 0 to the checkered flag without any mandatory pits in. So yeah, fast and furious as ever, Retro. What do you say we go through some of these drivers that we've got?
Absolutely.
So we've got a few reserves dropping in this year. That's what's appearing on my page first, underneath ourselves as commentators. We've got Maximilian Bornweg, Danny Felix, returning from last year. Mr. Lukavelu Ekfe, who's new, I believe. Greg Del Ekfe. Jason Sargent, who's returning from last year. Aaron Taylor. Robert De Wilt, who has been in and around the server, I believe. Stefan Visser. And Indianape. And Dreadlock Steve, who's a good friend of ours. Those are your reserve drivers. Dropping down into the pro tier, we've got Gordon Brown, one of your admins, Naisbit, Morgan Grace, and Leica, all returning from last year. So is Adam Sharp, Samuel Grafe, and Paul Alex, I believe. Are you returning Paul Alex, is he?
Doesn't ring a bell, buddy.
Doesn't ring a bell, so I believe he's new. So welcome, Paul Alex. We've got Jared Vermeulen, who's very, very quick, currently top of the timesheets by some distance. He joined us towards the back end of last season, putting in some dominant performances, but now he's starting this season afresh.
Formerly known as Jazzman, who loves a bit of song and dance on the track in his alien speed car.
So now we do have sprint qualifying coming up, so we're going to just wrap these up while people are on their out laps. First driver out is number 26, and I will put you on them. So, continuing with the pro drivers, we have Nicola Maletti, who is new but is very, very fast. We've got Christian. So it's got an Italian flag next to the name, so I'm going to try and put an Italian spin on it. So Christian Michele. Let me know in the comments if that is in fact butchered or
We're
correct.
going to get cancelled before qualifying's even officially started, mate.
This is true. Then we have Jack Doran, who is returning, who I like to dub Doran Oakenshield. And we have Fabio Travaglioli. We've been trying to practice one pre-commentary. He's new, so we've got a lot of new Italians coming to join us. It's fantastic to have them from the country of speed. Then we have Andreas Deli returning and Josh Clayton also returning. As you can see on the list, those are the drivers with the white boxes next to their name and over their numbers. After that, we have the silver drivers of Luke Richings, Chris Gedman, Rahad Serpentine, Francesco Filomeno, Andrew Eden, Wouter Heymans. Matteo Critelli is new, as is Giacomo Cortigani, I believe that's right. Rickden Brave, Dylan van Vlotten, Sven Koeters, Patrice Dirick, Marco van der Waal, Lee Colpitts. Both those two are returning as well. Now finally, with your AM drivers, we've got Dazza Townsend returning, Alexander Klugen returning, Paul Trotman returning, Quentin Roberts, who is also returning, Michael Coppens, Serfino Gibino returning, Johnny Sharp, Antonis Kokoblakis, Jamie Thacker, Damien Roos, I think is a new one for us. We've got Jake Hanley, Lee Cablo, Mihails Kumakovs, and Jarno Donkers, all returning drivers those last few. So now we've listened to the drivers, we can now follow this lap from Naisbitt. As he goes through turn 2 in the wet, keeping it nice and under wraps for now. One of the few drivers brave enough to attempt the Honda car. As you slide it out, this corner coming up here is probably the one that catches the drivers out on the first lap of race 1. This is where the first bit of action really happens. As he sways up, you've got a bit of a lift here, even in the dry, trying to avoid track limits on the outside. He's going to fly down towards turn 8, the hairpin. Also known as Quercia. Now up the hill, there's a braking point to be made here. You can just about see the traffic ahead of him of those who are trying to start their lap.
Yeah,
but they
it's
should
not
be
ideal, one shot quali, and you got a big bus stop happening on the final corner. Not ideal.
So in the dry, these first 2 corners are pretty much flat. Only really having to lift for the second to last and the final corner. As he goes wide, I'd be struggling to think that is an invalidation. So we're going to go back to the next driver coming around, 104. That is Richings. Richings in the pink, purple with black stripe Ferrari. As he comes through turn 13 into 14 of Caro. Lets his rear end dance in the rain. Now, flat pretty much in the dry and low gears.
Oh, we did have a lap set by Michelle in the Ferrari of 959. A 2-minute 11.8 there.
And we've got
Maletti then does a 150.3.
Matched by Richings and slightly beaten. Others coming towards the line now. I'm picking up car number 33. Do bear with us for one shot quality, guys. It's new for us as it is for you. We'll find number 33. There we are. That is Sharp. Coming towards the line. And goes P7.
Did Morgan Grayson cross the line, P10, in the BMW this season, not his trusty Porsche.
I've picked up Kalugin. He's coming round the second to last corner now. He's amongst a fair bit of traffic here, which is less than convenient. Chooses not to use all the track on the outside. Maybe just one thinking that safe there. It looks like he's almost blocking Trotman behind him. But Kalugin goes across the line, 6 seconds down. And car 51.
Van der Waal. P2.
So yeah, much closer than was promised from free practice. Car number 12.
I mean, I just want to say, whilst we are wrapping this one-shot quali session over, how many marshals did Van der Waal punch for that P2?
I've no idea. The Silver Drive's running absolute riot as Cooters also gets picked up a second down in P5. Got car 114. Who are you and where you come from? Looks like they are... Oh, that's Vermeulen. Still wandering around. Hope he knows he's not allowed to set a lap. As he heads into the pits. Got car number 37 as well. Sharp hasn't set a lap in his Honda. This is Adam Sharp. It's a very
He
bright
does love
paint
his
job.
bright colours, doesn't he?
He does. Adam Sharp pushes towards the line and puts himself to P7. Great lap. Now what I'm going to do, everybody, I'm going to get you a much better camera angle for the race. FRL is doing well and we've been able to fire up the chopper. Anybody reads into that inappropriately, then I will not be happy.
It's only because you made it that way. We was quite happy being innocent, all by ourselves, and you had to just ruin it. I can't believe you have done this.
8 minutes into the stream. If you're not familiar with us, commentators, we have a cheeky pun. And Retro's not got the nickname Potty Mouth for nothing.
Whoa, hang on a minute. If we're going to start throwing stuff out like this, don't make me bring out the Absolutely Kitty already.
Well, we might as well play Absolutely Bingo, haven't we?
Oh yeah, so all you guys at home, watching and listening, we have a bit of a running joke where every time Greg says the word absolutely, I put £1 in a pot, and it depends on how many drinks I can have afterwards as how many times he says absolutely.
So, yeah, that's your little mini game as you're watching the stream. Friends, family who are maybe here supporting their loved ones who are racing, or even the ones that are racing. If you've just got the stream on in the background for your entertainment, do play with Fafa Absolutely Bingo. You can have £1 in your jar just for that one. There you go.
Absolutely.
Retro's one was usually playing with sandcastles, but I think the sand's a bit too wet today to be making sandcastles, don't you think?
Yeah, it is, but normally my downfall's not sandcastles, mate. It's more the Nordschleife Nürburgring 24-hour, isn't it? It's not the foxhole, it's not the rabbit hole, it's the a-hole.
We're trying to get cancelled. Love you, Brown. We do. But yeah, thank you everybody so much who's already chosen to join along with the ride with us. We haven't got long left before this qualifying session is ended. Potentially, we might get some better weather come the race. It already looks like we're going to get a minor weather reduction in the weather as time passes.
So it'll be interesting to see whether it does dry up for race 2 or qualifying 2 as well. Obviously the guys do get a longer qualifying session for race 2. Obviously one shot now, but it still is flooded. Ooh, I've not seen that for a little while. Flooded conditions on Le Circuit Misano.
So the drivers are queued up all the way around the corner, almost dripping outside there. But the fans in the crowd, the AI-generated fans, they're here for it. Someone looks like they're already waving a black flag. I mean, we don't want to call an end to the racing, but somebody's wishing for it in the crowd there. Look, someone remove that person.
So I see someone, well, two people waving a flag that I normally see when racing is blue flags to get out
Yeah.
of the way because I'm being too slow. But you know,
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. We can definitely tell it's wet.
as Mary Perry always says, no one likes a soggy bottom. And unfortunately, Misano is very soggy.
As Missile Dog Shaft has jumped into the chat as well. Thank you for joining us. So
So
we've
don't listen or type on the stream whilst driving, Mr. Hansley. We're watching. Always watching.
oh, where's what? Somebody's watching you. Oh, Mr.
You can tell it's
Townsend.
been a while since we've commentated,
It
hasn't
has,
it?
but all silly.
The holiday
Still,
vibes has kicked in too hard.
what did
Still
you do to get?
party animals.
Townsend says he's been disqualified. He was P14. What did you do? What did you do, Townsend? We need to know.
Naughty.
Oi. Can't do that.
Didn't do anything. You made it inappropriate. How dare you?
Didn't do any accents.
It wasn't an accent. It was just a statement of fact.
Oh dear, he got disconnected. Not, which means he's been sent to the back.
Which, I mean, to be fair, Townsend, it's not a bad thing. Look how wet and moist Misano is, and you're starting at the back. You lucky person.
30 seconds.
I mean, you've got Van der Waal starting in P2, who's going to pass a Marshall back to you after he's finished with him.
Yeah, he's going to Mike Tyson all those marshals down the start line.
But there's one right there. Like, he's staring at him out of his side window.
If he doesn't go when the green flag goes green and he's still staring at that marshal, just send an ambulance.
Van der Waal spears left for the Marshall. We've all done it. Let's not be truthful. Turn your TC down and just plant the power, and before you know it, you're piling into the barrier. Now, a safety note: G Brown only had really the bit of practice and 5 minutes of quality to test these barriers. So we apologise in advance for anybody who is concerned about the safety of these barriers. The drivers have been warned. They may not be able to see them coming.
Here to fill in for the main safety barrier man, Mr.
As we
Kevin.
are,
Well,
go, go, go.
Light.
And Vermeulen makes a good, strong start. Gets ahead and across Van der Waal. And piling into the first turn. As we already have a spinner. Spinning into turn one. Didn't quite catch who that was. We'll pick them up shortly. Car number 84 has already been sent back to the pits. We've got yellow flags. Car 11, 26. It's car number 11. That was Trevor Luggy as Vermeulen overshoots the first heavy braking zone, which allowed Van der Waal to come right back at him. As we go to the time screens, guys, we will start going through the grid, but we have to let them settle. So lots of close battles.
G Brown holding on to P4 though, catching Patrice. Was Derek, good friend of ours. Oh, who's that in the background? Car 215, Serpentine, backwards in the hairpin.
Oh, and tries to rejoin. I think he just tags the Ferrari ahead of him. I'm just going to momentarily go and get a better camera. This is not ideal.
So there was a BMW in the background there. I think that was Grace. He's got a very... Oh, he's just smashed into the back of the Porsche, who then hits another Porsche. Oh, it's carnage. You had Grace hit Thacker, and Thacker then hit someone else. Absolute scenes on this opening wet lap.
As we've got a Ferrari of Jabinho. There's a bandit. Oh, as I've just caught Eden drifting. It'll be amazing. Oh, what a drift. Oh, my goodness. He just drifted through turn 13. Amazing. That's got car number 11 off track. That is Trevor the Gurley, who's having an awful time so far. Oh, so we've got another one ahead of Trevor the Gurley. That was Sharp spinning off. We go back towards the front.
You've got Eden as well, who had a bit of a mistake there just before the final corner. A lot of drivers struggling in this.
Oh, as I've just caught Trotman going straight on behind Cooters. He's now off track and he's going to lose a few positions from that. He's choosing to cut the second turn. He's going to come out and he's going to let the BMW past him, and he's also allowing the Porsche of Kalugin through as well. Fair play, not taking advantage of that. But now he's got coming up his inside. That is Robert, I believe. Yes, it is. There's an Aston Martin behind, which is showing a lot of interest. This is Clayton. Even in the wet, that Aston Martin is an absolute speed demon. Gets it stopped, but the Porsche... Oh, but no, he doesn't. Clayton goes deep, and that allows Grafe to go through. We've got Ferrari in the background. Who is that? 367. Can't seem to pick them up. Brown is managing to hold on to Van der Waal up ahead. Vermeulen is very much checked out. There's 3 seconds
so
as the
gap stands,
is...
though, Brown has the fastest lap at the moment.
I mean, we know he was pondering over this pre-season as to what car to choose. It seems like the Honda is serving him well so far. Van der Waal Ailing didn't get the best traction out the final turn, but then does get a good line through turn 2. Car 36 is off. Is that is Coppens. Seems to be in one piece still though. He picks up Vlotten. He's in a bit of a sandwich. He's got Sharp ahead of him. He's got Critelli behind him. He seems to be driving quite well.
Ooh, just flicked onto the back of that. We see Trotman.
Oh, Vlotten goes through on Sharp, and then Sharp has been punted wide, and he's got De Rick up on his inside. Both of them are now off track. I can't imagine that's not going to be an incident report afterwards. Brown staying in touch with Van der Waal, but not pushing too hard in the moment. Oh, as we've just seen Malotti punt Gibino ahead, he does slow down to let him regain that space, but now more cars in the background touching.
Scrabbling for traction there. Just saw in the back of the helicam shot how grouped that bunch was.
Oh, as behind that, that's Handley. No, yeah, no, Critelli.
That was Critelli.
Just locked his brakes and went off. I'm going to try again for this helicam because I didn't get it.
Sharp has also gone off as well.
There we go. That's the one.
Oh, Gebman is here. I didn't realise he was so far down. He just seems to be doing donuts all by himself.
Just caught Vlotten again in the woods. Just avoids the gravel. Maybe won't get the best drive through turn 14. But behind him, Serpentine is getting a lot of pressure from Cooters in the bright green Ferrari. Oh, Cooters going quite deep, but then just about managed to get the anchors down. But behind...
Just behind me, do have a really good battle between Grace and Clayton. With Colpitch just in front. They went side by side through turn 1, but say the BMW did not get the drive out the corner, so the Aston Martin said thank you very much. But say it's all over the back of one Beamer after previously getting past another.
Clayton looking very confident here, but ahead we've got De Rick sizing up Sharp, and even ahead of that this is Serpentine and Vlotten. Serpentine goes deep and wide.
At a moment somewhere because he was P3 at the beginning,
and so that allows Cooters through as well. Looks like Clayton has got that move done. So much happening, guys.
Very brave from our man Derek there.
So I've
Just
got
into the heavy braking zone of Sharp and did slippery, slidey stuff to get through.
Sorry, Retro, I've got Critelli trying it on the inside of the fast right. But no, Grace goes wide. What does Critelli think it's entitled to? He goes through. Great move in the wet. Very committed. Can he slow it down? No, looks like Grace is going to... Oh, no, they touch. Oh, no, Grace is now facing backwards on the fast right. Oh, no, what a disaster. He needs to get himself moved. Oh, my goodness. That's it. He did the right thing. Oh, we'll stay away from him doing donuts.
It's right, Cobbins has joined him on the side of the track to make sure he's okay.
And Clayton on the inside has touched Sharp. No. But now he carries on. This is invited Colpitts and the BMW back at him. This battle keeps going on. So many incidents coming out of this race.
Yeah, everyone's struggling due to track conditions. Oh, but saying that, what happened to Brown? He's down to P5.
And ahead of him,
all over the back of Vanderwall now.
This is Richings and Delhi.
Oh, sorry, yeah. It did update for me momentarily. Battle of the pink Italian cars.
Oh, as behind, that's Brown sliding backwards off into the gravel. Oh no, we caught it, Brown.
Curse. Brown just advertising we do WRC as well on the server whilst playing ACC. Top man.
We catch Delhi drifting wide of Curvone.
Oh, sighted down below, buddy. P8. I think that was Malotti trying to squeeze past a very injured Brown.
And I think he's got him, and Brown goes off again.
Handley says thank you very much for that, but look at Brown. I thought he was going to make a dive there. Oh, Vlotten is on the side of the track.
Oh, as into the turn 12, got a huge bunch of cars here with Naisbitt right in the middle of it in his Honda. Not Kalugin just ahead of him, but they went into Caro almost bunch of five. Got two cars in the pits, car 40 and car 7. No, what would that be? 37, I believe. As Jazzman has very much checked out here. Brown, I think, is limping to the end of this one. We have reached over halfway through this race and the action is still carrying on. Oh, marginally deep from Naisbitt.
Big train of traffic there. So like you say, Naisbitt, Eden, Grave, Sharp. Big train of cars there.
Looks like Kalugin a bit over defensive here. Covering his inside to the nth degree. Is it really necessary? Naisbitt is going to make him think it is. Naisbitt cuts the corner. Gives obviously him all the space warranted. But Naisbitt's getting impatient here.
As we say though, buddy, every position is available to fight for, as we are running the multi-championship as well. So obviously the drivers do have their own championships in their tiers, but there is also a multi-championship as well, so every position is fighting for. There's no blue flags, no tier champion or any in-house fighting rules. All positions are fair game.
Which is why you see drivers like Van der Voort and Richings fighting for the overall podiums. It's great to see. Got Jabino and Handley well inside the top 10 despite being in the AM tier. As you have car 84 well off the track. And that's Cablo, who's several laps down at this point. As we pick up this long-standing battle again of Clayton and Colpitts in P13 and 14. Clayton and his Aston finding a route to the inside of turn 4. That's Rio, turn 4. Colpitts taking as much curb as he dare in these conditions, and then he pays the price. He gets a bit of a snap on the exit. Clayton is going to go up the inside, and I think this move is well done. Unless he overshoots, which it looks like he has done. Off goes Clayton. He's having no luck keeping this position from Colpitts. Colpitts just goes through once again. Now Brown, who was previously hunting down P2, now lingering down in P9.
Oh, sorry buddy, I'm going to interrupt you there. Speaking of one Honda to the next, Naisbitt is backwards in the hairpin. I think Kaluga might have tapped him as he did slow down to let him go past again. So just incidents flying left, right and centre here.
He's now leading a battle of Thacker and Nichelle. We go back to that one. The two Porsches sort themselves out in the end. We lose. Oh, as Thacker losing loads of positions there, just got a bit too wide on turn 12. Quite hard to keep up with how many positions are being changed.
I don't think the game can even keep up with how many positions are changing, buddy.
Coming down the pit straight, Eden carrying a lot of speed. Sharpen Travangioli fighting out just behind. Trotman as ever pushing on with Thacker. We've got Leica and Kukubalakis. Leica in the pink Aston, chasing down Kukubalakis in the light green Porsche. Leica, incredibly fast driver from last season. Just couldn't string together consistent results. Oh, we've got 3 abreast in P17, 18 and 19. This allowed Travangioli just to get ahead, but now Sharp and Naisbitt just behind, still fighting. Naisbitt just backs out of that one.
I think this battle is slightly getting closer and closer, just keeping an eye on the fight between Richings and Vanderwall. That's the closest I've seen Richings for a little while. Maybe Vanderwall's made a mistake somewhere.
It doesn't seem that way. Last time I checked it was about 6 or 7 seconds. Now 11.5 seconds from Vanderwall to Vermeulen. But Richings all the same has been reeling him in, as both of them take liberty with the track limits on the inside of turn 6. Into the braking of turn 8 of Quercia. Up the hill towards Tramonto. He's going to have to really push Van der Voort here. He's not completely unsusceptible to a mistake, but Richings is going to have to keep his head. He's got just under 2 laps, maybe just over 2 laps to get this done. This is for position on track and in tier, so very, very big stakes on in this battle. Going back to Brown, who's now backwards in the same corner again, off at Tramonto. And that's going to drop him even further down. We've got Colpitts and Clayton still. Clayton in the very fast Aston against the boat that is Colpitts' BMW. And a few drivers that has gone for a Boaty McBoatface this season.
Boy, that's my line.
Oh, but as Clayton gets a big snap through turn 12, It's really hindered his progress. We go back up to this fight for P2, sorry. Bentley behind is lapping traffic. I believe that's Cablo. The Richings, it's again maximum attack over the curb. Van der Waal seemingly settled down, did a great job. I've just gone down to check out Travangelioli, who was chasing Grafe just under a second. Oh, back to Clayton and Colpitts. Clayton has just got through, but Colpitts is still there. Just avoids tapping his rear. But then Clayton goes deep and wide. That's going to lose him traction. Colpitts is coming back for this one.
Barge power.
Throw down the anchors from your barge. But now Vlottin is sizing him up as well. Always had to get out the power there. Got stuck underneath Clayton's rear wing.
Oh, it's not updated, but Richings has got past Van der Waal.
Yeah, and there's now lapping traffic between the two of them. He's just handed... Is that lapping traffic, or has he handed that back?
That's lapping traffic.
That's lapping traffic. So I'm not sure if this incident, this pass was down to confusion with the lapping traffic, but that's quite a big gap that has now been made.
Not too sure. Watching Van der Waal, he's quite skiddy in that car, so maybe something's happened. Or
well, sorry, Retro. We've got we had Jabinho and Handley pushing, and now we've got Patrice coming up around the outside for turn 3.
Is that Naisbit? Well, there was a car. Who was that? 215 Surfontaine.
But we've not really covered him so far this evening. But Jasman Vermeulen is 6 seconds ahead of Richings, and coming on to finish his lap. He's clearly backed off a little bit. He's given back about 5 seconds of that lead. Just going to momentarily go back to Jabinho and Rick, who are fighting it out. They're coming into Tremonto side by side. They're going to have to flick to the right. Oh, they touch! And they're going to try the switch back. But it does look like Rick has got that one covered. But Vermeulen comes across the line to win race 1 of season 16 in Misano, followed by Richings, Van der Waal. Delhi has got quite a good gap behind him to Heymans, who's got quite a good gap behind him to Hanley. So we go back down to the battle. We've got Patrice, who's got one hell of a drive, coming out the penultimate corner. Can he get even better one at the final one? I think he's going to have to settle for losing out to Jabinho on this occasion. Malotti is going to lead Brown, who was showing good promise early on, but couldn't get it done. Couters in P11. Just the top of that is a P1 for Vermeulen, P1 for Richings in tier, and P1 for Handley in tier.
So that's not very nice now, is it, Mr. Gordon Brown? I just watched you smash into that McLaren as you crossed the finish line.
As Grafe and Travangelioli fight towards the line. And the other close battle's got Kokomalakis trying to chase down Thacker. It's like Townsend trying to chase down Kokomalakis. Lots of quite close battles coming towards the line. Oh, we had Sharp. Oh, Sharp just beats Roberts over the line. Or no, Serpentine beats Roberts over the line. Oh, that was so chaotic. So there you have it, guys. We had Vermeulen leading in his class, with Delhi bringing it home in the Pro tier in P2, and further down Melotti in P3 for the pros, followed by Brown P4, Clayton P5, Grave P6, Travaggioli P7, Nishele in P8, Leica in P9, Naisbit in P10, and then a few down here with Sharp and Grace not finishing the race. We go to the silver tier. So we had Richings leading Van der Waal by a reasonable way in the end. We believe something did occur for that gap. Heymans in P3, Patrice with great push of the pack going into P4, Cooters in P5, Colpips P6, Flotten P7, Eden P8, Serpentine P9, Velomeno P10 with Gedman, Critelli and Cortelli with a few laps down on the board. We go to the AM tier now. There's some great performances from Handley, who finished quite near to the top. Jabinho finishing on the podium once again, P2, with Trotman in P3. Korkumlakis in P4, Townsend in P5, Thacker in P6, Sharp in P7, Robert in P8, Kumakovs in P9, Kalugin in P10, and Coppens in P11, with Cablo not finishing the race. Oof. I mean, a lot of stuff happening there with those wet conditions. Owen, I've got to try and have now.
Definitely. I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, it's great for us for all the action, but so hard to keep up with all the crashes and the spins, the taps, the whacks, the driver error, track error, skill issue. I mean, that's what we're here for. But so, guys, there is absolute carnage at every corner, every bit of tarmac there is. So do bear with us. But so there is what 37 drivers on track. 2 of us. Obviously, do give us a bit of credit, and if you do want to give us a bit of credit, then sign up to the Patreon. A link is in the Discord. Obviously, if you do want to join the Discord, do drop a comment in the comments below, and admin will drop you a message with a link. But say the Patreon starts as little as £3 a month.
10p a day.
You can get your sorry,
10p a day.
Alright, Mr. Show Off, because you work at a university and think you can do big maths. So,
No,
anyway, £3 a month can get you your race number reserved if it means something special to you, access to behind the scenes juicy stuff, more behind the scenes stuff than our commentators get. So, I mean, you've already got more than us. Obviously, access to special Patreon servers, so you can get practice in before everyone else does. I mean, what more do you want to practice hitting the wall like Greg does every Friday?
Whoa. Just in my practice, managed to keep it on the track during race time. But yeah, FRL's got you covered for anything online that you might want to do that is racing related. We do, as you can see, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Assetto Corsa on PC, Formula 1, WRC, Gran Turismo, you name it. If a league can be made out of it online, FRL has got you covered. Any standard, as long as you're clean and fair, we want you here. Come and join along in all the racing. As we pick up Serpentine just leading the pack out for this 15 minutes of Quali 2, which is going to set the grid for Race 2, which, as we mentioned already, is 40 minutes long with the same sprint format of no pitting required. And I'm going to make sure I sort my camera out properly this time. So there we have it. So you can see everything. We boost up the helicopter just for you.
I mean, it's all that fuel we saved because of the Christmas break.
Yeah,
you won't get this next week.
No, we'll burn it all this week in Misano, and then we'll have to recoup funds again.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, no, I don't know if we can say that. I'll start getting some of the beggars out on the track side, shaking the metal cans for helicopter fuel money.
Yeah. But Serpentine is going to start us off. Let's run you through a lap of Misano now. We've got a bit more space on track. So yeah, flowing first two corners, dropping down a few gears. In the dry, you can take this easily flat, but I suspect a slight lift from Serpentine here. Let the car drift out all the way onto the curbing, but you don't want to be braking on there. You'll skid out. The driver's been taking a much tighter line through here tonight. It's about as short as possible. You don't get much speed from out there. Slight lift going to this corner, trying to abuse the track limits to the absolute maximum. You don't want to drift out onto that curbing on the right hand side, especially as track limits are rife and it is slippy as my dog rolling around in the snow. Brake hard for turn 6 and then up the hill, slowly bring your car over to the right. In the dry, you'll be braking around about the apex of turn 9 into turn 10. Always gets a big snap on the nose as you head out. Traction absolutely critical out of turn 10 as you're going to keep your foot planted for about half a kilometre as you try and keep it pinned around this double right-hander, triple right-hand. Counting. It's four right-handers, but
are you sure you work at university?
I have to keep turning my head to look at my track map with the one with the numbers on it. As he flies you turn 15, which is a slight lift and shift. Dab a brake into the final turn. Power towards the line, and he's going to start us off with a 1:49.4. Other drivers coming across the line. We've got 959, which is one of our new drivers, Michelle. Do let us know if we need to pronounce the additional E. He seems to get involved in a few little bumps and scrapes. What is that? But he goes P5 as Jazzman has just come and dropped him with an absolute disgusting time.
Mr. Jazzman.
Who else have we got coming around? 94, which is Colpitts, who was well involved with battles with Clayton last race. He'll be hoping to qualify somewhere away from him so we have a little bit less hassle. He comes across the line in his BMW and puts it all the way up in P8. Now P9 because of Vanderwall.
I'm not sure if these guys are on a lap or pushing. There's a bit of traffic there, a bit of racing during qualifying. Jazzman's that quick, he's lapping traffic in qualifying.
And then we've got Kalugin, puts himself across the line, nearly 5 seconds down on Jazzman, which realistically is only 3 seconds down off the average pace. We've got Serpentine coming towards the line once again. He powers through. He's currently 3 and a bit seconds down. What comes from this time? No improvement on that lap. 4:94. Towards the line. Someone who's already set a time. That's Melotti. Can he improve on his time? No, not right now. Then we've got car number 19 off in the middle sector. Who was that? That was Jabino. I just missed him. He's back in the pits. Car number 11. This is Travaglioli. Another one that got his elbows out and right stuck in race 1. Elects to take a lot of the curb on the outside, has a little bit of a shake, and puts himself up into P8 with a 48.5. Now dropping down to P9. Car number 888. That's Leica, who I'm still scrolling, has put himself P4. P7. I don't know who that one is. Car 51. That is Patrice Dirick, choosing a very sensible on-tarmac approach to the final turn. And it's paid dividends. He's in P8. Car 21. Where are you? That is Handley, who not that much great improvement. He's 4 seconds off the pace. Car 36 is Coppens, with a good line for the final turn. Looks a bit squirmy on the rear end as he tries to get the power down. Is there an improvement on there? No. Car number 24 is Delhi. Ooh, it does improve quite a bit. Still 1.4 seconds down on Jasman's time. Car 14. Just bear with us, everybody, while we're still getting to know everybody's numbers on the fly. That was Grace, who's now P15. Triple eight.
Jump shot.
Back on board with Leica again. P2 to P5, very, very condensed. All within a tenth and a half. What does that mean for Leica with his recent effort? Massive jump, separates himself from them. Only now 8/10 down on Jasman, so he had a great effort in quality from Leica there. Car 160. That's Volotten. Goes P30, bottom of the pile for those who've set a lap. Got car 21, that's Handley, in his very professional looking BMW car. Currently 4 seconds down. Needs a few tenths to jump Jabino and Kukumlakis. Doesn't get anything done currently. 114. This is Vermeulen looking to put even more distance between himself and the rest of the pack. He's currently got an 8/10 cushion, but what does this mean for the rest of the pack? The fact that he's going again. Will he be into the 45s? No improvement as of yet. As we've got a car disqualified, 717.
Is Wouter Heymans.
Oh, disaster. For going the wrong way on the track. I presume he span it through turn 13. There was warning about it in the briefings. Right. Chavaz Leoli coming around the final corner again. All his latest effort be, and he needs a tenth to beat Sharp. He does not get it. Who's that coming around? That's 51. That's no, it's not. That 510. 511. No. I can't see pick out. Car number 19 is covering it up. What about Brown, who's yet to set a time in his pokey little Honda?
So maybe he's still a bit scared from what happened from race 1.
I mean, he shouldn't.
Finally set a lap.
I mean, he shouldn't be. He's tested the barriers now.
Oh, I don't know. I thought. So, I'm not quite sure what happened to Gedman though. So both admins using the Honda. So maybe what clicked with one, not the other. But I mean, Gedman just didn't find the pace there. As I've just flicked onto him, and he's spinning round the Fars right-hander.
I've gone on board with Serpentine once again. He's currently dwindling down in P21. Only needs 2,000ths to beat Townsend. He does exactly that. In the end, it was 2/10 that he got. He needed 2,000ths. We can go on board with car number 94 of Colpitts, who's currently, of all people who could be leading round, is leading.
Clayton.
He's leaving Clayton round.
I say, mate, some of these drivers think qualifying is just basically race 2. Some
Yeah.
of these drivers are still sticking their elbows out for qualifying.
So Colpitts during his lap is having to put on his best defensive display against Clayton. Clayton, who's going to want to overtake him into the first turn, I believe. But what did Colpitts do? He doesn't improve. Actually, Clayton, following him, does improve. So the slipstream that Colpitts was pushing for ends up getting given to Clayton. They're not even in the same tier. We've got Cleese's 334 of Kalugin. Is well off the pace at the moment. 4.8 seconds down. What can he do to improve? Nothing right now. Serpentine once again with a clear bit of track towards the end of the lap.
Now that's something our man doesn't want anyone to see. I was flicking through the pack and I flicked onto Mr. Jazzman and I saw him just do an absolute rookie error. Hit the pedal, he's done a 180 and drove into the pit lane glass.
Oh,
That's behind him.
sorry, just putting my thermals back on. It's quite chilly in here. Don't know what I was thinking. Car number 19. What are you up to? You are Jabino. Seems to be pushing moderately. He needs a couple of tenths, and he can bring himself to P23 if he gets his act together. What can he do here, though? In this awful conditions, no improvement. Car 444. That's Coco Malakis, who's got a bit of traffic ahead in the form of Townsend.
Oh, not sure what was there. We had Serpentine and I think it was car 71.
As we are just about to finish qualifying now. So final laps will count. I think Coco Malakis, yeah, that's his final lap time done. Furthest around the track is car 79. You are. So do bells while we're still learning all of these. That is Gedman in the Honda, who's so I've not meant to find him. He is lowest one not to yet set a time.
Well, I mean, with Heyman's being disqualified, he's not going to start last.
But he does need to jump Cablo.
Commentator's curse! Oh no! Quick, if he keeps it valid, he might beat someone.
Just needs to cross the line. As it don't go outside the white line. Go, Gedman. He felt, do you know what? I've missed WRC. Let's give it a whirl on this. Oh no. But he's going to push towards the line with what is probably going to be an absolutely dismal time. Yeah, 18 seconds.
He's not starting last.
No, he's not. Any more to concern ourselves with? No, I think car number 10 is just returning to the pits now. Some drivers do very much like the simulation of actually driving back to the pits. But this is
it still says that Brown's on a lap.
Oh, Brown just torpedoed the pit entry wall.
That's got to hurt.
It's got to hurt.
I know he said he liked using the Honda, but I didn't think he said he didn't like it.
Now he's got a didn't like it.
Who let you in charge? We're supposed to entice viewers in, not scare them away with your terrible jokes.
Any dad in the stream will appreciate the dad jokes. You being a parent to a cat doesn't count.
Cats, plural. There's more than one little furball devil.
But yeah, there you go, guys. There is a lot more of an ordered this time around. The pro drivers have finally turned up to slap back down the silver drivers. So we've got Vermeulen leading Leica, Delhi, Sharp, and Naisbitt for the top 5 on the grid. With Richings taking, like he did in the first race, a leading stride in qualifying in P6. Melotti being split from the top pro drivers in P7. Durick, P2 in class in P8. Sharp leading his class in P9. Travilli in P10. Grafe in P11. Nichelle in P12. Van der Voort in P13. So the man who started so high up in race 1 just couldn't pull it together for race 2 qualifying. Then we've got Serpentine in P14. Grace P15. Eden P16. Trotman 8 positions down on Sharp, who's is closest battle going forward. And Clayton in P18 getting ahead of Colpitts crucially this time. That should be interesting as we start. Cooters in P20, Townsend P21, Thacker P22, 23 Cortegani, 24 Kokomalakis, 25 Hanley, 26 Javino, 27 Brown, 28 Critelli, 29 Coppens, 30 Flotten, 31 Chomakovs, 32 Kalugin, 33 Q Robert. I'm not going to dignify Gedman's position with that time in P30. In P34.
You can't do that. We entice everyone to finish.
I mean, if he wants to deviate his attention and go WRC into the final corners, he can do that on his own time. And he did, look, 18 seconds worth of it. Then we've got Filomeno and Cavalo who elected not to set the time, and Heymans who's had a spin and faced the wrong direction, causing him to get disqualified. Not long now until race 2, where we've got 40 minutes of high octane racing. I expect more of what you saw in race 1. Drivers are in very treacherous conditions, and I can assume there's going to be many tears which are going to go amiss, lost in the rain.
Alright, conditions are wet. We have some slippery curves, and also watch out for your braking distance.
So there you are. We're being warned just like the drivers as to the slippery curves. However, I can't think anything that won't be slippery at this point.
Well, I mean, looking at the forecast, it's a constant rain at the moment to slightly ease off. I think I did see a minus sign in there somewhere, but that now has disappeared.
There's a plus that just appeared.
Oh, the game wants to mug me off, and it's not even been the first race completed yet.
Yeah, I mean, why are you doing this to us? We want to be able to see the drivers.
So I'm glad we got the luxury of commentating it from the comforts of our own home and not the treacherous, wet, soggy Misano with the raincoats and the welly boots.
Well, speak for yourself, mate. It's been ice sheets up here in the north.
Anything above London's class as north, so I'm alright.
So yeah, we've got a little bit of a countdown still to go before race 2 starts. As I mentioned before, 40 minutes of high octane action. No requirements to pit, change tyres, fuel, unless your car is as beaten up as a Marshall after Van der Voort seen to him.
Well, definitely after what may or may not have happened last race. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't throw around being your job title of Marshall in front of him.
I mean, I'm not quite sure what the the marshals are called around here, but I don't think they're called Larry like the man from Laguna Seca. Call him Lorenzo. So, Mr. Van der Waal, leave Lorenzo alone.
Where did we get Larry from?
Just pulled him off the top of my head. Hello. hello, Nico. Nice to have you for
Larry's
joining.
a loner. We just picked Larry.
Yeah.
So anyone called Larry, we're sorry, we love you. Just don't get beaten up by Van der Waal.
So I just need to do a quick shimmy and a trick
10 seconds.
once the timer starts, just to get the helicam that you all desire. Almost there. There we go. And the cars are now rolling. And you'll have the action as soon as I get off this menu and the light goes green.
Green light, show them what you got.
There we have it. So Vermeulen
does fend off Leica quite nicely for turn 1 there.
But Leica not letting him quite get away. These two have broken away. Gives Leica the opportunity to send a dive and maybe still have a bit of a cushion, as we do have someone in the back. That's one of the Hondas. That's Naisbit going backwards.
Oh, big carnage, big carnage. Oof.
Multiple cars get swept on car number 94 as well. That's Colpitts. Leica extra cutting. Always Leica gets a bit sideways. Can he collect it? He can. That's exactly why he put that lead out in the first place. Pushing so hard to keep up with Vermeulen, but then Vermeulen has gone wide. Jazzman wide. Many other drivers also going wide. Where's Vermeulen gone? He's still there. He's ahead. But now that gap has really diminished. Oh. Where to look? Battle for the lead does seem to have a bit stationary. Further down the pack, about Cooters. He's broken away. As I picked up Townsend trying to go around the outside of Tremonto. I'm trying to think who's...
Big train trying to watch everyone. Also Bentley. Cablo there, just touching a bit of grass.
And that's Patelli also off.
Oof, 2 drivers there. 4 drivers off there. Oh my days.
What a disaster happening further down. And that's Kukulakis also backwards.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure he watches how he rejoins. Serpentine looking like they have to do a fair bit defensive.
Oh no, oof. Oh, who was that? Number 11. Oof, I just shut my eyes for that. Travaglioli into turn 1 backwards before he'd even hit the apex on a braking point.
So we've got Clayton chasing down Sharp. We're going to enter turn 4, but Clayton gets a bit of a snap. I think he'll back out of this one just for now. So drivers really struggling here. Townsend pushing on Gibino, is pushing on Vlotten. Gibino electing for this ultra tight line on exit. Vlotten has gone off track. Townsend elects to go over the black and yellow sausage curbs. That won't help him. Gibino's spot is braking. I think it's a bit too far back. Ahead. That is Serpentine going deep. Oh, and behind that we've got Cooters and Eden. Missing down.
Yeah, the Mustang straight line DRS.
Who was that? That's Delhi in the Lamborghini spinning off. P5 has now dropped. He's going to have cars on his rear very, very quickly.
Yeah, Cooters has made a mistake somewhere. Travaglioli has got past him.
The car waiting off track, car number 33, is Sharp. Having to let basically the whole pack back past him.
Oh, not quite sure what's happening here. Big pile up. Big pile up. P24, 23.
It's car 40.
Vitelli.
Can't seem to select him. Up the grid to pick up Cuters again. He's pushing on with Traglioli. And ahead of them, Eden and Delhi. Delhi, who we saw a orange and black flag thrown at one of the drivers there. Now Cooters is going to take advantage of
this. A run from Cooters, yeah. He's got the speed.
Oh, as he snakes into the braking, can he get it stopped? Neither of them can get it stopped. But it looks like Cooters are going to take that one all the same.
But Grace is going to be licking his lips at this.
Grace looks for the move down the inside. And Clayton is here once again. Clayton loves a battle in that fast Aston Martin. He's up the inside into the first fast right-hander. He's already ahead. Brilliant speed. And all the same, Travelio can't. And ahead. Oh, who's that? Someone is off track. That's 884. That's Eden dropping multiple positions. He's going to come on just ahead of the Porsche. Is that Thacker? It is. It's Thacker. Thacker's going to try and round it around the outside.
Yeah,
for the
Coppin's also facing backwards as well.
As Heyman's now taking a dive down the inside and they touch. Sends Heyman's round.
Touch me, buddy. Vermeulen is P3.
Oh, what has happened? We'll have to inquire about that one afterwards. Dramatic stuff now. Leica taking up all the advantage that Vermeulen had over him. Vermeulen with a bit of work to do to get past Sharp as well. It's a different kettle of fish when you've got to pass in these conditions. As Vermeulen spins around. Oh my goodness!
He could touch the bumper of Sharp there. He was that close. He could just lift out a hand and just touch the back of that Honda.
Vermeulen struggling to get his tyres back warm again. After what I'm going to assume is a trip off track as we go on board with Clayton, who's got Grace going off behind him. And then a Porsche also off track. That is 510.
Q Robert.
He's pushing on. Oh, as we picked up Milotti, who's now backwards at Tremonto. Quercia, sorry. And he comes back on behind the Porsche of Kalugin. Pack just starting to spread a little bit now. Obviously this is a longer format, so this will happen and battles will begin to form. Colpit's been licking his lips to the side of Townsend, going slightly wide at the corner before. Picked up Serpentine, he's chasing down Eden. Both these drivers a bit of a tough time this evening. Eden snaking in a straight line. Serpentine, sorry, snaking in a straight line. Jabinho is the man putting pressure on him. Up ahead, will Eden make a dive here? He's lined up the Mustang. Can he get it stopped? No, he can't. And now the two behind goes through on them. That will be an inquiry.
I know fair's racing, but you can't push to pass.
Less of a push, more of a slap.
It's more like a Randy Orton.
As I go forward, Jabinho is now overtaking Serpentine, who went deep and off track. Lots of drivers struggling with turn 8 tonight.
Oh, what have we missed here? Leica is now P4.
With Sharp now leading the race.
Are they playing tricks on us here? Have we missed something again?
They just go, whenever they're not looking at us, swap positions.
That's it, yeah.
It's like that first game of Squid
you
Game.
led the race. It's my turn.
It's like, red light, green light. Now I go backwards and on board with Handley, who's got BMW of Grace ahead of him, but he's got fast Clayton
He's not
behind
going
him.
to win the race doing that. Vermeulen backwards into turn 1. He's going to cheekily cut turn 2 to stay in front of Leica. Delhi does get a stop-go 30 seconds.
Madness what's happening this evening. Madness. And Leica will like the look of this. Vermeulen just can't seem to get his rhythm back. We'll go back to have a look at Hanley. Sliding through turn 2. Turn 3 even. We've got Clayton looking like he's going to show his nose. Finds his brake power again. Gets it stopped. Which speed can cars just through here? I think Clayton might be on for a move here. But Hanley ahead is sizing up Grace as well. Might be 2 abreast for him as he gets to the corner. Oh, this could end in disaster as Grace ahead goes wide. Oh, and then Clayton hits his front. He tries so hard to avoid all of that. And then another car behind going off as well. That was Jabino. Eden
84 disqualified, wrong direction. Who was that? Cablo.
He's not having a good night. There's a catch. Eden going deep, trying to get back at Thacker.
There's a lot of cars off track where we just saw Grace go off.
Gone back to Serpentine and Heymans. Serpentine has been trudging along. Just want to pick off at scraps. As we mentioned earlier, the pack is a bit stretched, but battles emerge very quickly, so do just bear with us. We've got Clayton, who has got past Jabinho, now looking for a move on Patrice into turn 1. Sizes him up for that one. He's got so much speed to use, does Clayton. Patrice just about managed to keep his car control, but Clayton looks like he might size this one up into turn 4. He positions his car, he backs out of it. I mean, this Aston Martin has got some car control in this weather. It looks the most planted car this evening.
So Vermeulen is reeling in Richards. It says 2.1 seconds is the gap, but I'm pretty sure that's not 2.1. It's now corrected to 1 second.
All the while, Richings also closing in on Sharp. Could this come to a head in a 3-way fight for the lead? As we're only 13 minutes into this race, he can see the lead just ahead of him. The top 3 cars covered by 3 seconds. As Richings goes a little deep. Mullen now refining his groove. He has the fastest lap. Quickly flick to Van der Waal and Clayton. Clayton, who's just stepping and sliding through the fast right-handers. As who is that? That is off track. That was car number 12. That was Cooters. Who's now dropped back to P12, it looks like. But Vermeulen, oh so very close now really on the bumper of Richings. This won't take long, I don't think, before a move is at least attempted. But what can Richings do?
Well, it's all about keeping the move. I mean, Vermeulen's got to do well to keep his car on the tarmac and the wet stuff, not the curbing and the wet stuff.
So now all these three cars now separated by only 2 seconds. Richings, I don't think is going to be making many moves on Sharp while he's got Vermeulen filling up his mirrors. Just got to stay true to your braking points. Don't let the idea of a challenge change what's already the limit of your braking. You've got to trust in yourself. If they make a good move, just fair enough. You can't push past the limits of your adhesion of your car. We've seen it too many times tonight. Drivers going for moves and just overshooting, and then costing them more than what they originally went for. But now Richings, with a bit of breathing room from Vermeulen, closing in on Sharp. But now he's just finding himself underneath Sharp's rear view mirror, getting backed up, and now Vermeulen is now back on him, under 4/10. But can Richings now drive out this corner now? He's got a bit of breathing room ahead. It's a great job to even hold a few laps against Vermeulen. He's shown such commanding pace.
Oh, Shabino off. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's carrying too much speed in the fast right-hander there. Van der Waal goes off as well to join him for a quick cup of tea, make sure he's alright, but both drivers back on track.
Looks like Vermeulen just getting a little bit frustrated here, because now you've got... That's not like it behind. There's a bit of lap in traffic.
Lapped car.
But it will only be a matter of time before Leica's on the back of this as well. All the same, Sharp goes pretty defensive initially. Will there be any sort of braking error here? Yes, there is, and it's allowed Richings through, but they touch, and then Vermeulen's gone round, and then Leica's through.
Oh.
Just completely distracted by the battle ahead. And now Sharp and Richings have got a bit of clean air. Run away, run away. Sharp had been doing such a good job to that point, just picking his braking points. But one mistake is all that's needed to open up your inside and just allow a slow car on the right line to just go pacing through. So the battle for the lead is so hot right now. Not dampened in the spirits and the darkness, as we expected to get even more rain in the next 10 minutes. Didn't even think that was possible. The Vermeulen now 3.5 seconds behind Leica. That role is completely reversed once again. I feel like we've abandoned the rest of the grid for that battle, so we're going to drop through a few of them. But Eden chasing Grace at 0.3 of a gap, with Brown in the Honda just in tow. It says 1.4, it's definitely not that.
Well, battle definitely going on. Cooters and Jabino. Nice little battle.
So yeah, Cooters in the bright green Ferrari just ahead of Jabino in the midnight blue Ferrari just behind.
Jabino was a lot closer, and I did say it does close up quite nicely in turns 1 and 2 there.
It does look like Cooters has got him covered just for now. But Jabino does seem to have got a better run out of turn 6. He's going to show his nose to the inside. If Cooters is smart, just brakes where he knows he can. More better than can be said for Jabino, who in an attempt to scare Cooters into a mistake does almost make a mistake himself. Just jumping forward to Derrick, who's really closing on Handley here. 0.6 is the gap as they start to go through the fast right-handers. as he goes off track. Comes back on. Keep the car control. Oh, as Hanley drifts wide. Rejoins in a pretty safe manner. A lot of tit for tap in terms of track limits between those two. Found Grafe and Gedman chasing down Serpentine. Now Grafe really looking like he's got Gedman sized up here. Would there be a move made into turn 14 of Caro? Oh, I doubt it, because Grafe is slipping and snaking all over the track.
I mean, that wouldn't have happened if Grafe had picked the GTR.
But now this is invited Chumakov's into the mix, and Chumakov punts him in the rear. But thankfully, with a good amount of car control from Grafe, he does manage to drive away from that relatively unscathed. We'll catch Gedman also playing in the sand. I think he's got some frontal damage. Lights flickering as he's in the braking. The Vermeulen really struggling now. Eight.
Oh, Leica's gone off.
That's quite big because Vermeulen was about 8 seconds behind. I don't think that'll come down that much.
I think just for comparison for the boys up in front, so the gap from Vermeulen to Travaglioli in P5 is 22 seconds. And as we've just seen Travaglioli extend the track on the fast right-hander into the hairpin, making his own racing line. So be abruptly greeted by Derrick and Handley fighting it out for P6 and P7. Derrick getting all over the back of Handley there.
I mean, the fight for the lead in the silver tier has not really existed, is it? Derrick's got his own battle for P6, and Richings is currently leading the race. Oh, but Patrice sizes one up on Handley, thinks a lot better of it. But he's pushing on Handley. Down the grid, just gone on to Brown, who's off track, and I think that has let as Brown now enters the pits. I think he can deal with that car no longer.
Again, I don't know what's happened, but Sharp is now P3. Oh, as he just clocked him going round the right-hander backwards and
that's
touching the sand.
He should have plenty of time behind him to get back out and going. That invites Leica up into P2 with 4.5 seconds to find.
So, Leica
and he's gone again. Sharp's having an awful time. Once these tyres are dirty and cold, it's a long old job to get them back up warm again, unless you start driving like a nun on the way to church on Sunday. It just shows the pace these top four have had. Travaglioli still about 20 seconds down, but now Sharp 20 seconds down on Vermeulen. Travaglioli closes that gap to Sharp at least by 11 seconds. You can see that pack in the background. Picked up Eden, chasing down Grace. I think this one's been going on for quite a while. The gap has been half a second. I think this has been marginally extended. But it looks like Eden's looking a bit more confident here. Two not so great corners for Grace. Grace goes defensive to the inside. Eden will happily just set up the next few corners. And he'll get a drive into turn 4. And just, I think that's the lift off the power as he went underneath Grace. Essentially the gap resets.
Ooh. I think that might get looked at. So Vermeulen catching lapping traffic there, just smashed into the back of Korkamalakis just to get him out of the way, which then I think does invite Jay Sharp in front of him, who was battling for position.
Now with Adam Sharp being his closest contender from the rear.
Oh no, tell a lie, no. Jay Sharp was even more lapped than Korkamalakis.
As we've got cars ahead fighting it out. Jasman, is he really going to send it from there? Oh my goodness. I know it's lapping traffic, but sends that big in the wet. I believe that's Cablo ahead of Vermeulen now. Riching's doing a pretty good job here. He's actually building the gap to Leica while all this is going on.
So Jasman's still struggling on the brakes for the first hairpin.
So now Derrick has dropped off from Handley, it seems. No, Handley's well ahead now, so he's really dropped. I'm not sure what's happened to Derrick, but he's really dropped off from Handley. Nearly 8 seconds now, and this is now going to put him in the clutches. Vangeoli, who's
Look
clearly
how
had
close is Giovinazzo behind.
Will there be an attempt here? All depends if you spot your braking. Giovinazzo didn't do so great there, taking the corner himself. And this invites Van der Waal. Maybe a shot to set him up down the fast right-handers.
Oh, but the Ferrari made a mistake.
A mistake or a wide line?
Both. It was a mistake because it slowed him right down. He's snaking down the straight, so he's definitely struggling with something.
There's such tough corners around here. Trying to maintain speed, but also make sure your car doesn't drift wide with not much in the way of lateral grip. Riching's now pushing to 5 seconds over Leica. Someone might want to look at that guy's tier.
Well, we've been informed they've been changed accordingly.
Maybe it's all these ones that played in the sand. Maybe they weren't making castles. They were piling the sand in for their sandbags.
Well, I think they was definitely doing more than that, buddy. I think they was loading it into the car and not the bucket.
So the closest battle on track at the moment, Van der Waal on Giovinazzo. He's also chasing down Vangeoli, who's just made an error. Giovinazzo is going to light this look around the outside. Vangeoli, as he almost takes out Derrick ahead. Couldn't get his brakes sorted. He's going to come back on.
Giovinazzo in, but then Derrick goes wide anyway in the next part of the corner.
Vangeoli coming back. He's going to be on the inside, but he touches again. Oh, how all cars are still facing the right way is beyond me. That was a bit naughty. No, it's got Derrick. He's got Vangeoli all over the back of him now. But he does seem to take the first of the fast rights, the best out of this quartet. But then doesn't break enough for the second part. Making up his own track in that final sector. It's a huge train here back from Clayton in P6. A train that includes Derrick, Vangeoli, Spino, Van der Waal, and Couters, who's closing this in as well. Oh, Van der Waal is going to take an opportune move here. I think he maybe messed up his brakes, but he's now, as he's alongside, he's thinking, do you know what? I might as well. As we have a car cutting turn 3, Van der Waal can't.
Clayton. Oh, careful on the rejoin, Clayton. Oof.
Does just enough. So Clayton, who was leading this battle, and then we see Van der Waal go super deep, and that invites Cooters through. And then Clayton
Goes
got
off
deep again.
Anyway.
And now that is going to allow Colpitts through.
That's unfortunate. I see Vermeulen's gone off again.
So this battle has been reignited. Clayton and Colpitts again. But it looks like Clayton is really, really ailing. He can hardly keep the car on the black stuff. We've got Thacker and Melotti properly fighting it out with Thacker. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Clayton. He's just going off everywhere. Oh, and with Grafe and P21 and P20 of Nichelle, almost a move into Quercia.
Oh, Derek's gone off.
Oh, and ahead of him, Handley's gone. No, who is that? That is Sharp. Sharp's off. So former leader of this race, Sharp, now all the way down in what's going to be about P8 or P9. Now Gibino wants to move on Frangioli. You willing to use all the track to get it done? Still, he's going to have to wait for a braking opportunity. There's not really much you can do in terms of traction around the outside in conditions like this. We'll stay on board with Gibino, see if he gets a good drive out of turn 6. Got less than 10 minutes remaining now, guys. Don't go anywhere. Anything could happen, especially as Leica, who was previously nearly 6 seconds behind, now bring it down to 3.6 seconds. Is Richings suffering? I think it's maybe down to the lapping traffic, but all the same, that gap has come down.
He does seem to be in the thick of it at the minute.
Maybe we can put that lapping traffic between himself and Leica. It might pay dividends in the end. Got car number 79 ahead of him. That's Gedman. Peters was very close, but seems to have just dropped off. Vermeulen looks like he might still come home with a podium here. Clayton has turned to the pits. See Delhi. Oh, who is that in the background? That is car 959. That's Nichelle. Yeah, just off. It's the one everybody's been struggling with tonight, Tremonto. So he drops well down now to P23. Time still coming down between Richings and Leica. So many different skills there has to be in a GT car racer's arsenal. Ability to...
My commentator's cursed it, buddy. Vermeulen is off again.
Oh, he did have a good gap to Sharp though, so he should... Yeah, he's still way ahead, several corners ahead, and with time to spare. So he's got nothing to worry about just yet, unless he does that a few more times. Looks like Leica maybe starting to hit this lapping traffic. Yeah, there he is. Not lost too much time, but time lost is not time gained. He's got 6.5 minutes if he wants to put anything on Richings here. And now, yeah, well into nearly 5 seconds the gap, which is starting to get rebuilt from Richings, so not as bad as it once seemed. Hardly able to pick Jabino out now. Why is he in his Lamborghini?
He's betrayed you.
He has betrayed me. Wonder what it's going to be like when you go back to the Ferrari, see if that betrays you. Now you spent some time away from it.
Oh, 100%. That's more my driving error rather than the car, to be honest.
As you watch,
I still don't get how I can do such a good lap in one car on Silverstone, jump in another car and be like 3 seconds slower.
Oh, we've got Malotti closing in on Thacker, less than half a second. Malotti, who came into this weekend promising quite a lot from some pre-season testing, but just hasn't navigated some of the racing scenarios the best, and now finds himself down in P13. And Richings just taking command of this one now, so yeah, fantastic for him. Kuter's quite content, it seems, just behind Jabino. He's got no reason to push on really for his class anyway. I mean, he might definitely want to keep Van der Waal behind him, but this pace seems to be quite solid. The gap seems to be quite stable. Further back, Delhi and Gedman, two drivers quite misplaced. Gedman snaking under braking. Can he keep that on? No, he cannot. Here goes through Delhi. And there we go. Delhi makes a move on Gedman through Gedman's error. But Gedman looks, he's put a nose in and goes, no, not my day. So last few laps now, and Richings with a semi-commanding lead. Obviously anything can happen. We've seen so many snatches of the brakes in this race. So many changes of the lead. Akuta's hasn't been caught by Van der Waal. It does seem they've got a Porsche in between them. Haven't quite worked out who that is just yet. We have a car sideways on the straight.
Car 160. Vlotten.
Oh, that's just a shame. Now Kutas looks for a move on the outside of Jabino as they enter Tramonto. And then back down to Malotti.
So just slightly behind that, but he got a big send from Serpentine on Grace. Grace sees him coming, Serpentine goes very deep.
Ooh! As they kiss noses. Oh, and then rears. Ooh,
Oh, that's unfortunate. Haymans did nothing wrong there. It's unfortunate to collected a Serpentine that just spun round.
So Serpentine trying to survive now in his Ferrari.
Grace versus Grafe. Ooh.
Well, this would be good if he can make it. Has he got the grip? He's still there, but then a car's in the way. Oh my word!
Eden adding to the spice.
Oh my word! How did they foresee that one? But now letting cars through. Was that Richings that's being let through? Yes, it is. Thank goodness that's not ruined his race. But now Leica, look where Leica is in comparison.
Yeah, he's closing.
As
I think
Richings,
this lap in traffic is hurting Richings.
Yeah, the lapping traffic and that car backwards. I can't imagine he's slowed. I can only imagine he's slowed down for the yellow flags. Now Leica really surely get the bit between his teeth now. One more bit of lapping traffic separates him from Richings, but can he start to put any pressure on? It has been dubbed the final lap. He's got a Mustang 737 ahead of him. That is great. Hopefully he behaves himself and lets Richings through, doesn't hinder him too much. Oh no, Richings has gone deep! Richings has gone massively deep! Where's Leica? Leica's going to join right next to him. Richings is there. Richings has so far lost the position. What can Richings do to try and get this back on the last lap of the race? Richings seemingly put on. Richings sends it! Taps them both! Sends Leica out wide and he's taking the position. Leica flashes. He thinks that one's earned back. Richings seemingly is going to look to let him through at this opportunity, which means he can fight back for the rest of the lap. But there's not that many places still.
Look at Grace behind him.
Oh, he doesn't want to be fighting these leaders. That's great sportsmanship. I really thought he was going to run off without it then. But Richings now still sees a fight, but there's not many corners left to send it. Oh, I think there'll be some inquiries into blue flags. I think that's truly what's caught Riching out here. But Leica is going to come through if he can make it safely. Richings has got a good drive, but then goes over the rumple. And Leica is going to come home to take this for the Pro Tier. And Richings comes home with a very, very good drive. And they have a nice little collision across the line. Vermeulen,
I think, to be fair, I don't know what Richings is supposed to do there. I mean, Leica, yeah, he celebrated winning, but he went left, he went right, he went left, he went right.
Vermeulen comes home with a fairly consolation-like P3. Sharp, once leader of the race, like the three ahead of him, is going to come home with a pretty comfortable P4 in the end. Hanley is going to win his tier, it seems. He's still got a few more corners to negotiate. Only Thor and the Lightning can smite him now. One more corner to navigate and he's going to win the AM tier and get a P5 amongst all the Pro Tier drivers. And Giovanni comes home with a very, very respectable P6. Massive wars he was in to come in P6. And then Cooters in 7th, sees off Jabino and Van der Waal. Colpitts. It's a great job coming back actually to P10. And then Derrick seemed to maintain his position from early on. Townsend, 3rd in his class, with Thacker coming over the line. Lottie and everyone else, apart from Grafe, has already finished due to being a lap down. So it's Grafe, last man to finish on the lead lap. So there you have it. So we're going to hope to see if we can get some of the drivers in for some interviews. So yeah, Townsend, what a race that was. So I'm going to see. Wouldn't mind speaking to Jazzman or Richings. Just going to put a request in for anybody. Maybe Hanley. He was involved in quite a lot.
Yeah, what a race, guys. What a race.
So yeah, we're so sorry for anybody who maybe missed something they were looking forward to. We're just gonna wait and see if we can get any of these drivers in. So, but we do have Mr. Gedman come to join us in the commentary box. What an eventful one! How
Oh, no, you've got it wrong.
again, Gordon Brown.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see a G and I get confused.
No, we're getting sacked.
Hello. Hello.
I thought we had done that early on in the stream.
Yeah, that was savage. I don't know
But
if
anyway,
my headset's working correctly. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
that's right.
Okay.
You just missed Mr. Wood call you Gedman and got confused between the two of you, so you didn't miss much.
That's fine. Same accent, it's okay.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to throw that card out there.
You tested a few barriers, or at least the sand leading up to them.
Yeah, so race 1, I don't know what happened in qualifying, but it hooked up and I got myself on P4. And at one point we were 3 wide, me, I think it was Van der Wal maybe, and Vermeulen all into turn 4. We were side by side. That was about 5 laps into race 1. And then it just went downhill from there. From that point, it just started sliding, losing the back. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did notice top to bottom of the grid, whenever anybody got any cold tyres or grass on them, it just snowballed for absolutely anybody. So even Vermeulen up front, he lost the win because of exactly that.
Yeah, it was horrible. It really was. I don't understand why the conditions were like this either.
I think Naismith sabotaged us. Hello, gentlemen, how we doing? I thoroughly enjoyed that tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely.
I mean, I did feel bad though, because you said you enjoyed yourself, and we was watching the stream, obviously commentating on the stream, and said bits and pieces. And obviously, you testing the barriers like you normally do, and flipped onto you. Oh, what are you doing? No, you're doing a 360.
I held. Are you talking about my only lap that I put in qualifying by any chance?
Yeah, the one that was like 20 seconds. Like, no, don't worry, it will still not come last if he keeps it within the
and then we saw you put absolute maximum steering crank on it to keep it when you were trying to come across the track, and then you just said the car's gone as slow as possible with the maximum steering crank. Stay on.
I think I was about 16 seconds or 18 seconds off, but I managed to get a
18
lap
seconds.
That was great. No, it was that tonight was a complete and utter surprise, like Gordon said. It shouldn't have been like that at all. But 39 people started, 34 finished. So
I take that as a win, considering the amount of incidents.
Yeah, the amount going on. I don't know how much is obviously going to make its way into the stewards room, but I mean, some of the blue flags do need looking at. I'm pretty sure, because I mean, whether you could argue that Richins got denied overall win because of blue flags.
Yeah.
I mean, massive shout out to Richins, to be honest. He done incredible today. Yeah. That's pure pace as well. He didn't lock into that. That was his pace.
He was unraceable tonight. He was beating everybody, including Vermeulen. Well done, son. Driver of the day for me.
Cracking effort from Vermeulen in race 1. He was like 15 seconds ahead at one point. I think maybe had a bit of an issue or just backed off a bit. But I mean, race 2, I mean, he couldn't just link it up. He was going wide. He was locking his brakes. I think at one point he was backwards into turn 1 before the apex.
There was who was it in race 1 which managed to drift turn 13?
Was that me? No.
I look forward to watching that one back.
I caught that in full.
It was on the stream, yeah.
And it was a good 6-7 seconds worth of drift. It's completely sideways and then held it on track. It was beautiful.
So somebody went on with flat spots for the rest of the race then. But I'll look back at the footage and have a wee look. But thanks again, gents, for starting off what's hopefully going to be a fantastic Sunday, season 16.
Yeah, just maybe give us some conditions next time where we can actually see everything.
Yeah. I think what we'll try and go for is set it for snow and we'll maybe get sun.
Yeah.
It seems to do the
We're
opposite.
We're going to go and test it or try and replicate it on single player first before we throw this in the server. The weather conditions tonight, I think I've pinpointed the issue, but
Is it Nesbit?
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you can pinpoint the issue. If Naisbit does really well in the race, you know he's set the weather because he knows what to plan for.
That's it.
Well, he can't do that this season because I'm in the same car as him. He won't have that excuse anymore.
To be fair, the Honda looked atrocious tonight. It really did look atrocious.
One lap in the wet, it is fantastic. It is probably the best wet car. It's just the tyres go off so fast, and it's the rear tyres.
Yeah. You got to manage it so well.
But we're learning. We realised how to adjust the car on the fly to make it manageable. It did come back to us towards the end. I think, Chris, you said you were running really well at the end of race 2 there.
Nice and stable there. Just the last, I would say 8 or 9 laps was nice and stable for me.
I mean, you can definitely say it worked, mate, because I think at one point, I nearly did see your position number start with a 1 and not a 2.
You know what, we're joking. We're joking about it, but on this grid, it's very competitive this season.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, you've seen the T-lines and
mean,
stuff.
we all have a laugh and a joke, mate, but honestly, it's like, you do far better than I would, but I mean, the pace of you guys is just unreal, like.
I think the fastest in the wet was 50s. I was doing 51s, so I'm happy with that.
Oh no, it wasn't. I mean, Jazzman was well into
46
the 40s in the wet.
He's 46 pole.
What, in race 2?
Oh, Joe, I'll have see if I
Yeah,
can-
and that was weird. That I don't know what happened. I was
God.
bang on the front pace in race 1, in quali 1, sorry. In race quali 2, I was at 4 seconds off. I have no idea what happened. It's just the level of talent, I think.
He was
this season
definitely
is
in the
gonna be very
40s
difficult.
for the race, definitely.
Right, okay. Alright, well, I was way off the pace then. I was 4 odd seconds off the pace. 5 seconds off the pace. I'm happy with that. Still.
I think if it was to pinpoint a scariest part of the race, I can't remember who it was, but they span after turn 13, and they were facing up backwards from 14 into 13 with the leaders coming. Yeah, he couldn't go anywhere. He was in the middle of the track, facing the wrong way around after turn 13.
Oh,
So
God.
completely unsighted in the wet for the final unsteady braking. And thankfully, I don't think anybody actually hit him. It was incredible.
Right, okay. That is incredible.
Was that near the end?
Race
Was that right at
two,
the end?
race 2, second half, I think.
I mean, if you do want a good one,
it
there was
rings a
that
bell.
one between Serpentine and Haymans, wasn't there? Where they're battling Grace, Haymans, and Serpentine in a little three-way battle. And Grace has seen it coming from a mile off. So Serpentine's gone deep round the outside of the second hairpin, like turn 7 or turn 8, I think it is. And Haymans has obviously gone wide as well, because obviously he's seen Serpentine gone wide. Serpentine's then spun round. Haymans has then collected him as a passenger. They've both hit front bumper to front bumper. Serpentine's then spun round, and I think he's then hit him in the rear again to get him going again. It's like you just couldn't write. It was like synchronised ballet dancing.
And
Jeez.
that, and the final lap as well was absolute drama.
Oh yeah.
The
final lap, lads, you've got to have a look at, because I mean, I don't know whether blue flags played a massive part in it or what. I don't know.
It looked like
but
Richards got distracted by the car ahead of him, went deep,
yeah,
came back on side by side with Leica. Leica had a bit more speed, was going ahead into Tremonto, turn 10, and then Richings bumped him wide, took the position, and then gave it back to him, which we heard was brilliant sportsmanship. And then just the rest of the lap, there's not really much of an opportunity. But for a moment, we thought there was going to be a bump to keep the lead. But no, thankfully, sportsmanship played true. But yeah, for a moment, it did seem like that car was a bit of a distraction for Richings, which is what allowed Leica to get the position in the end.
Oh, I see that. That's horrible. But I think what's happened there is Richings has missed his braking point. Oh, he's touched him. I think he done the...
I don't think he touched him. I think he just goes to avoid, and goes wide, gets on the slippy stuff, comes back.
Oh.
And then after that, it does become a battle between him and Leica. But the chance he took, he just couldn't hold his brakes. And I think the biggest issue corner tonight seemed to be turn 8. Was there a huge puddle there or something? It was hard to tell from the commentary box on the outside.
So you guys laughing means there was more than a puddle there.
You're a funny guy, yes, you're a funny guy.
I think I would like my Bentley boat back, please.
But it was that corner in particular.
When going into that corner, I think some of you guys were advertising that we do WRC as well as ACC whilst playing ACC, but we're not. We're advertising WRC.
Well, we've got a WRC admin in the chat right now.
Hola. You know what? Actually, it's a good point. I was actually playing that the other night. On ice in Monte Carlo with a rear-wheel drive car, and it was still easier than what tonight was. Honestly, I'll send you guys a clip later. It just shows the ice and me understeering straight into a rock. That was still easier than this. But I'm going to head off. And
just
got
quickly,
some
lads.
footage to capture.
How much did that hurt, Brown, when you came into the pit after your qualifying run and just smashed into the tyre wall? I mean, did you not like your Honda that much, or?
It's completely intentional, out of frustration. Took my hands off
don't
the
worry,
wheel.
we got that on the stream as well, mate. Don't worry.
Good. At least I get some screen time tonight. Cool. I need to head off. I've got some footage I need to capture. One of these is a self-report. But yeah, I will catch you guys. But thank you very much again for jumping on tonight. It's been great, and I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah, we look forward to the rest of the season.
Nice one. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take it easy, boys.
Right, so there you've had it. Little word from our administrative team. Obviously, if you do still want to get invited to the Discord, to anything racing in FRL, do drop a comment. One of those guys will pop your links to Discord and then onto either SimGrid or different ways to join in with the action. If you are already here, then we see there's still a bunch of you watching. If you want to get even more involved than you already are, do sign up to the Patreon. It's just £3 a month, and you get access to lots of little special things like you can pick out your near and dear driver number in advance of everybody else. You get early access into special events and leagues, and as well as your own Patreon server for practice away from prying eyes. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the stream. We're happy to bring you action. It's not just mine and Retro's commentary. You get to watch week on week. We have multi-hour endurance championships. We have Formula One. We've got so many things to whet your appetite for online racing, and FRL provides it better than anybody else. So yeah, get involved whichever way you see fit. And we look forward to seeing you same time again next week, just before 8, for another Super Sprint Sunday. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. See you next week.